Good evening. My name is Joey Cross, and today I will be lecturing or presenting a little brief information about how to plan a retirement. When I was growing up, I grew up in a small town, Lancaster, Pennsylvania. I had two parents that were very skilled at money management, that gave me advice growing up. They started me out with allowances. They helped me write, ledgers for balancing a checkbook and things of that nature. But one thing that they always instilled in me was take care of your finances. Don't become indulged in your finances so much that you're too money worried, but make sure that you make sure that your money works for you. And all through my life, I went through the stages of being a high school employee, in high school working at various jobs, whether it be pizza, um, paper route. I worked at a college campus working in food and dining. And, I used to spend a lot of money. I blew a lot of money. I hurt my credit in ways because I didn't know how to manage my money. So the one thing that you want to make sure of when you're planning your retirement is just become money conscious. Make friendly decisions. Make decisions that will impact not only your current financial situation better, but also being able to forecast down the road to have enough money for a proper retirement. So, what exactly is retirement? Uh, According to one author, retirement is, in the simplest form, the stoppage of work or the point that you're actively no longer working a job for money. And there's various other definitions that I can use, but that's basically the simple concept of retirement. To an age, the age will vary when you can retire, but retirement in its general form is when you're no longer working. Uh, and with that being mentioned, retirement looks different for different people. Currently, right now, I'm in the United States military, where if you try to do a career in the military, you only need to work for 20 years until you can then retire, which again is the stoppage of work. So I'm 29, or I'm 31 now, but I was 29 years old when I entered the United States Navy. So upon graduating or moving from the enlisted ranks to the officer ranks, I plan to do 18 more years and retire in 20 years, which means my retirement age will put me at 49 years of age in retirement. I no longer have to work. You have celebrities or famous athletes. They're able to accrue money faster and in bigger piles than the average working class member, so that they can pretty much retire whenever they want. There's no set age. There's no limit. There's no 20 years that I'm privy to in the United States military. Once they feel that they have enough funds to no longer work, they can go ahead and retire. For the working class individual, which is the majority of us, the retirement age is, I believe, 62 years old. In some, based on my research, in some areas of the world or some other countries, typically, for reference, Canada, the retirement age is 69. In the United States, it's 62. Again, retirement is the time when we stop working. But what do we do in retirement? According to one source, retirement means we're free to do everything else other than work. Some people like to travel. Some people donate time. Some people volunteer for various causes that they like growing up. Myself, when I retire and leave the military, I'll probably start working for myself on my own terms. And that's another factor that leads many people to want to retire. One author, Vitesse, 2012, labeled control as a reason why people want to retire. It's either control or the lack thereof. A lot of people go throughout their entire life doing things and working in jobs that they don't even enjoy. So all they do is repetitive day in and day out, year after year, to get to the age of 62 so that they can retire and eventually go on to do what they want to do, whether it's travel, spend more time with family, um, volunteer, like I said before. So control is a big factor and reason and a reason why a lot of people retire in the first place. Um, so moving forward, what are some ways that we can actually plan for retirement? There's a slew of information on the internet, various sources from experts to financial managers. One thing that I do know just from personal experience of being in the military, I actually have a financial counselor who is attached to USAA, which is one of the financial institutions where I have my money. And we speak all the time about 401ks. If your job has a 401k that they can match funds, that's a specific way that you can start building a retirement fund. We're looking at my current savings account and the percentage and the annual return on the funds that I have in my savings account. And we're also looking at money markets. We're looking at different portfolios and different options where my money can work for me. That the dividends are paid back over time. Certain compound interest starts to manipulate and compound your money at a faster rate. But a lot of the other sources that I looked at, especially Money Magazine, they had a lot of tips that just said one of the biggest ways to really prepare for retirement is to start early. Somewhere between your 21st and 25th birthday will leave you with close to $1 million if you become money conscious and start at a younger age. The longer you wait, the less you'll have in retirement. So 401ks is a specific way to save money for retirement. And once that money's in a fund, don't touch the fund. Don't touch the money. There's a penalty for removing your funds out of the 401k before your retirement age. Again, making smart decisions with your money while you're saving it. And the fact of just getting started on saving money is a very, very helpful tip in having a nice egg nest when you become retired. I can tell you from personal experience right now, my mother is retired. She just turned 56. She didn't have to make it to the age of 62 because she put in 30 years of solid educational work. And with her pension package, that was all that was needed for her career choice. So again, that's also another advantage or another way that you can save for retirement and make a decision in the profession that you go into. Again, the profession that I chose, the United States military, I have 20 years to retire. My mother was a teacher, an eventual principal, and then a superintendent of a school district in my hometown of Pennsylvania. She had to put in 30 years to retire. And again, I have a best friend who was privileged enough to play NFL football for 8 years for several teams. The NFL Eagles, or I'm sorry, the Philadelphia Eagles, Kansas City Chiefs, and the San Diego Chargers. And after 8 years of pro football, he was able to retire. So again, making wise choices, starting while you're young, putting away money and forgetting about it until retirement, contributing to a 401k, preferably one that your employer has for you that they can match dollar for dollar or fund for fund, and making smart career choices with your funds as you make your money, as you save your money. And try not to do what I did growing up and just frivolously spending money on vacations and materialistic things like cars and sunglasses and things that I didn't really need. So, it's difficult to look at retirement when you're not in retirement. But again, how do we plan for something? You set it up, you make wise choices, and then you reap the benefits when the process is eventually over. So it's about 9 minutes. I'm only supposed to speak for about 10. So I will conclude with saying or asking the question, now that you know some tips and guidance and some advice on how to plan for retirement, how will you plan for your own retirement? Again, I'm Joey Cross, and thank you for this presentation.